Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little bit different but absolutely fascinating. We are going to deconstruct a massive global media giant that's operating right under our noses. It's an empire built not on prestige television or blockbuster movies, but on something entirely different. If you're a focused learner trying to understand the modern digital economy, well, you are definitely in the right place. We're looking at a phenomenon that has completely rewritten the rules of audience building and content distribution. And honestly, the sheer scale of it is almost hard to comprehend.
248 billion. I mean, just let that sink in for a second, right? That is the total view count for the network we're analyzing today. It creates this immediate statistical awe. To put that into perspective, that's literally dozens of views for every single human being currently living on Earth. In the traditional entertainment industry, hitting 1 billion views is considered a monumental career-defining achievement. But here, we're looking at a system that has multiplied that milestone by 248.
And that astronomical view count, well, it's built on a massive foundation of 456 million global subscribers. When you look at numbers like this, you realize pretty quickly they easily rival, and in a lot of cases, completely dwarf the subscriber counts of major legacy streaming platforms. We're talking about an audience footprint that traditional TV execs spend billions of dollars trying to capture. Yet this network has amassed the whole shebang in a fraction of the time, operating in a very specific, highly targeted niche.
So, who actually commands this audience? Vlad and Nikki. Let me ask you directly. If you don't have a toddler in your house, have you ever even heard of them? They are the highest-rated kids channel on YouTube. We're talking about a literal global preschool phenomenon. It's wild that it's entirely possible for an entertainment juggernaut to exist completely outside of the mainstream adult pop culture bubble. These two are global superstars to a demographic that can barely tie their own shoes, yet they wield the kind of viewership data that big tech giants just absolutely envy.
Section 1. The winning content formula. What drives billions of clicks?
Okay, let's dive into this. What exactly is the recipe capturing and holding this massive, dedicated audience? It's not an accident. Every single episode follows a highly calculated, incredibly engaging formula. They use a creative mix of live-action footage featuring the brothers, and then boom, they inject these colorful animation overlays to keep the visuals constantly stimulating. They integrate catchy music that acts like an anchor for a preschooler's attention span. As for the narratives, it's all nonstop fun and comedic, crazy adventures, but they also weave in simple moral lessons. You'll see videos centered around learning to share or everyday topics like making the right decisions. It's this precise alchemy of high-energy visuals and digestible, parent-approved themes. Now, this creative formula quickly builds into an incredible business reality. I kind of love contrasting the totally childish nature of the actual content with the sheer, ruthless velocity of their data. On one hand, you have incredibly basic concepts, right? A real cardboard train challenge or a candy cars challenge. It sounds like a lazy Sunday afternoon in literally any family living room. But consider the output. 8 million views in just 7 days for the cardboard train. 6.5 million views in 2 weeks for the candy cars. It is a machine-like efficiency. They've essentially turned Child's Play into a rapid-fire view generation engine.
But you know what's truly fascinating here? The timeline of these views. Sure, their recent uploads, like a story about a robot best friend, pull 5.6 million views in a couple weeks. But think about these older metrics. A video about building an inflatable house from 3 years ago, 991 million views. An older video titled Funny Stories About Toys from 5 years ago, 1.2 billion views. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is their evergreen back catalog. In the preschool demographic, new audiences age into the content every single day. A video uploaded 5 years ago doesn't die. It consistently pulls in billions of views years after the fact, acting as a permanent, incredibly lucrative digital asset.
Section 2. The localization empire, expanding beyond borders. Now, you absolutely do not get to 250 billion views just by speaking English. Here is their rapid expansion playbook. Step 1. They only launched the core channel in 2018. That's actually relatively recent for a channel of this massive size. But step 2, that is where the genius lies. They translated their content into 18 different languages. And because their formula relies on physical comedy, bright colors, and super simple concepts, it translates effortlessly. Step 3, they expanded to manage 21 separate localized channels. They didn't just slap on some subtitles. They built a decentralized, multilingual network to ensure this preschool content crosses all international language barriers.
And this strategy, it results in a massive geographical footprint. Take the Indonesian channel alone, 38.8 million subscribers. The Spanish channel sits at 32.1 million. The Arabic channel has 28.4 million. They are absolutely dominating markets far outside the English-speaking world. While they might have started as a single channel, they now function as a global broadcaster, customizing their reach for major international demographics.
5 billion. Actually, scratch that. Let's be clear. This isn't their total view count. That is their monthly average across all those 21 localized channels. 5 billion views every single month. When you combine the evergreen nature of their catalog with a hyper-localized 18-language distribution network, this is the mind-boggling result. It is an algorithmic masterpiece of audience retention and scale. Section 3. The corporate reality, pulling back the curtain. So we need to ground all these fun comedic videos in some hard business reality. Welcome to the era of kidfluencers, child influencers who generate revenue by starring in digital content. Vlad and Nikki are not just kids playing in their backyard. They are global superstars functioning as the face of a massive digital enterprise. It's this fascinating, incredibly modern dynamic where family home video aesthetics intersect with elite-level digital marketing.
And here is the ultimate reality check for you. Vlad and Nikki isn't merely a YouTube channel. It's the property of a corporate entity. The brand is owned by Content Media Group FCZ LLC, which is headed by co-founders Sergey and Victoria Vashketov, who are, of course, the boys' parents. Behind every cardboard train challenge and inflatable house build is a corporate LLC strategically managing a 21-channel, 18-language, 456 million subscriber intellectual property portfolio. Which brings us to our final thought. In this wild new age of kidfluencers and massive corporate preschool empires, what does the power of 5 billion monthly views actually mean for the future of entertainment? We're literally watching a decentralized, parent-run LLC command a larger global audience than media conglomerates that have been around for a century. The barrier to entry has completely vanished, but the ceiling for scale, it's been pushed to the stratosphere. So, how will traditional media adapt? And what happens when this preschool audience grows up? I'll leave you to ponder the sheer scale and influence of modern digital media. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.